The future continuous tense, also known as the future progressive tense, refers to expressions such as I'll be reading Kant in the next 3 days, or I'll be sitting on the couch watching football games after a shower. The tense uses a special verb form, will be plus the ing form of verbs, and it refers to actions or states that will be ongoing at a future point in time. For instance, take the sentence I'll be sitting on the couch watching the NFL at 8 p.m. The future point in time is 8 p.m. At this point, my sitting on the couch watching the NFL is still ongoing. The future point in time can be wider if you want. For instance, you can say, I'll be sitting on the couch watching the NFL for the next few days. Here are some more example sentences. Now, some people wonder what the difference is between the simple future tense and the future continuous tense. For instance, what's the difference between we will eat dinner at 7 p.m. and we'll be eating dinner at 7 p.m.? There's not much difference except the subtle ones, so you don't have to worry about it so much. However, to tell you the difference anyway, there are two differences. The first difference has to do with the attitude of the speaker. The simple future tense shows a more definite attitude of the speaker, while the future continuous tense shows a less definite attitude. For instance, if I say we will offer the same promotion next year, I'm quite certain about the plan. On the other hand, if I say we'll be offering the same promotion next year, I am only partially certain about my plan. The second difference has to do with stative verbs. Due to its inherent meaning, the future continuous tense cannot be used with stative verbs, whereas simple future tense can. Here are some examples of the stative verbs. So, if you say, I'll be knowing how to count up to 3 when I become 3 years old, you will be wrong. Let me explain why. Stative verbs usually describe permanent conditions that once hold true will always hold true without any change in degree. For instance, English speakers think that if you came to know how tasty Nutella is, then you know it now and will always know it in the future without any change in degree. Hence, they think it is nonsense to use the future continuous tense to describe these conditions as continuing at a certain point. What that means is, if you're using stative verbs to describe a permanent condition, you should not use them with the future continuous tense. The following sentences are all wrong. Instead, you must change the verbs into the simple future, as in these sentences. However, there are exceptional cases in which stative verbs are used with the future continuous, mostly in informal situations, as the following. Though the usage is not grammatically correct in a strict sense, the usage is quite convenient for daily conversation. Let me tell you why. Although stative verbs refer to permanent conditions, some of those conditions have a close relationship with active mental activities. So many people just regard them as action verbs, which is the opposite of the stative verbs. This way, they don't have to worry about avoiding continuous tenses. For instance, although the stative verb hate refers to a permanent condition of not liking something, the verb is closely related to the mental activity of disliking something. So if you regard hate as an action verb, then you don't have to worry about avoiding continuous tenses. I think this is quite convenient. But again, these expressions are not grammatically correct in a strict sense, so use these expressions with caution. Lastly, let me talk about the verb form of the future continuous tense, will be plus ing. The ing is also known as the present participle of the verb. What is a present participle? Every verb can be changed into multiple forms. To express the past time, the verb changes into the past form. To create a noun, the verb changes into a gerund. To express continuous tenses or to create an adjective, the verb changes into a present participle. And to express perfect tenses, the passive voice, or to create an adjective, the verb changes into the past participle. Since we're talking about the present participle, we're interested in this guy. So how do we make a present participle? The dictionary tells us how to make one. Usually, you add ing after the verb, as in these words. There are some exceptions though. If the word ends with an e, drop e and add ing, as in these words. If the word ends with an ie, drop ie and add ying, as in these words. If you have a verb whose structure is consonant, vowel, consonant, double the last letter and add ing, as in these words. words. Now let's see how we use will be plus ing in a sentence. If I want to transform the sentence I have dinner at 6 p.m. into will be plus ing form, first insert the verb will be before the verb have. Secondly, change the original verb have into its ing form having, and you're done. If you want to say not in the sentence, insert it after the word will, as in I will not be having dinner at 6 p.m. Please be aware that will be can be contracted as the following in informal settings. The phrase will not can also be contracted as the following in informal settings. Alright, this is it for the future continuous tense. If you have any questions, ask me in the comment section and hit subscribe for more English lessons. It was nice having you. Please check out the videos on other tenses, and goodbye.